I found your wedding ring. Black man said it was worthless. On the case, I found the certificate. I have no idea what it's worth. I don't really care. I tried to sell it. Didn't get nothing for it. Maybe God intervention. Maybe store it. So now it's stuffed. Some stuff. Inside some stuff. Inside some stuff. Buried so deep that whoever finds the treasure can keep. 'Cause honestly, I don't give a fuck.
I need two. Male and female, you're not it.
Died by suicide this week after he struggled with depression and alcohol abuse. You or someone you know is struggling with mental health or thoughts of suicide. Free confidential help is available 24 hours a day. Call or text the National Lifeline. And when we come back, honoring some of the last of our World War II heroes on this Memorial Day weekend. How much time do we have?
Basically, it's seen as like a cautionary tale, but basically young, naive college students got caught up with a guy and I go down this crazy path that I never would have gone on had I not been in a relationship with him. And as a first-time nonviolent drug offender, I was sentenced to 24 and a half years in federal prison. I'm trying not to tell the whole movie. And so basically you see the cautionary tale as far as how I wind up on this legal system path, but it's also a wake-up call to our Black and brown communities and what it took for me to be released from federal prison. And so, you know, even though the movie's named after me, I'm grateful, you know, to be able to bring it back to life on this platform, but it's way bigger than me. And for those of you all who have seen it, there's a character, Michelle West, in the film. So with the social impact campaign that's being launched with the film, we're hoping to urge President Biden to use his act of mercy, of clemency, which is what I was received. It took the President of the United States to release me from federal prison. So it's that cautionary tale, but also hopefully will motivate people to know what's going on in our legal system and how easy it is to get caught up and to motivate people to go vote.
All right, Kimber, here's what I want to ask you. What made you choose him?
He was that guy that came on campus in different cars, picking up upperclassmen girls, and, you know, me being young, naive freshman, I would see him come on campus, and yeah, I thought, you know, it was cool. I had never been in a relationship with a drug dealer in high school. I, you know, worked at Kings Dominion and would see some of the ballers come up to my game and play, and so I think also as I got deeper in the relationship, I thought like a lot of us women have in the past and still today, is that maybe if I stay with him, maybe I can change him. But the blessing in it is my son, Armani, that I had while I was incarcerated, and he's doing great things.
We're talking to director Kelly Cawley and Kemba Smith about her real-life story. Kemba now streaming on BET+.
Invasion of cicadas set for parts of this country coming this spring. Last time we saw an emergency like this, Aaron Burr was a year away from fooling with Alexander Hamilton. Tonight, Captain Park reports from Georgia, where the invasion is already underway.
It's set to be the biggest invasion in hundreds of years. Not millions, not billions, but like trillions of these pesky, incredibly loud cicadas. And right here in Georgia, the invasion has begun. It is shocking to see this many, and they're already coming out in South Carolina, where the J. Sarah Winer's backyard.
Did you think he was going to be this bad?
No, I really wasn't prepared because I've never seen this before. This is my first invasion. They moved in, and they have stayed. Clinging onto every corner and crevice. They think this is a safe spot. It's already getting so loud in Newberry County, people are calling the sheriff to complain.
Now we've got cicadas everywhere.
Why so many this year? One One set of cicadas comes out every 17 years, another every 13 years. This year, there's an emergence of both moods. That hasn't happened since 1803. They're coming out from Alabama to Missouri, and where they may overlap the most, Illinois.
They're talking there. Epic numbers, biblical kind of numbers of them in that area.
So something historic potentially is brewing in the
It
Midwest.
definitely is historic for sure.
Augusta, Georgia agriculture agent Campbell Vaughn says cicadas are harmless, but very loud.
The males are making a noise, and it's a little bit buzz.
So we have the sound level meter here. So let's pause and just see how loud they really are.
It's 60 decibels over here.
But at their peak, that can skyrocket to 100 decibels, about the same as a lawnmower.
Enjoy the noise. It's really a neat thing, so don't get too creeped out by it. It's creeped out by it.
Kathy Clark, NBC News.
Still ahead, why does it take so long to get a doctor's appointment these days? The extreme things some patients are doing to get seen sooner. And the surprise of a lifetime that had this medical school grad jumping for joy.
As a director, what made you interested in doing this type of project?
So Kimba's story is right up my alley. My background is in anthropology and film from Howard University. When I heard of Kimba's story and it came my way, it really hit home for me because I have a Kimba in my life. My best friend, who is more like a sister to me, we grew up together since we were about 2 years old, and we both were on our way to college. One summer, we both were going to HBCUs, and we grew up in a church. My dad was a pastor. We both were very active in the church and in the community. And one of our friends, who's like a big brother to us, went to my best friend that summer and asked her to accept some packages for him. He needed some help, and would she accept some packages? He could give her some money before she goes to school, so she didn't think much of it. She did that all summer until one day her door was kicked in by the feds, and a gun in her face and a knee in her back. And come to find out, those packages had kilos of cocaine. So that summer, I ended up going to college, and she ended up going to federal prison, even though it was her first offense. And due to these mandatory minimum sentencing laws, which don't take into account the individual circumstances, she had to serve a fair amount of time, even though she wasn't the main distributor, and she wasn't aware of what was in these packages, and she was just a teenager.
Now you talk about 7 months. Were you 7 months pregnant in prison?
I turned myself in 7 months pregnant, and the prosecutor chose not to give me a bond. And then after I gave birth to my son, my leg was handcuffed and shackled to the bed. Again, my parents took care of my son while I was incarcerated, but the judge didn't care that I was 23 years old, never been in trouble before, and sentenced me to more than I had been living on this earth, to 24 years. So there were several organizations such as, and people influencing, Yo-Yo, I saw you last at CBC, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, also helped to bring me home. The producer said we couldn't put everybody in the movie, but I'm grateful for all the various organizations such as the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and Elaine Jones that's highlighted in the movie. But it wasn't about poor little me. It was about the fastest growing population within prison of Black women. And so they had hoped my case would set a precedent for others. And, the Deltas, which is my sorority, I can't, leave that out. All right, sorry, yes. And the Links and the National Council of Negro Women, they all rallied and advocated petitions and wrote letters. So I knew I had to be a vessel of God and be obedient to what I felt was the open prison doors.
We're talking to director Kelly Cawley and Kemba Smith about her real life story, Kemba, now streaming on BET Plus.
I don't have to clear shit with you. I don't even want to be near you. I don't have to clear shit with you. I don't even want to be near you.
Shit in my heart. You wouldn't. Oh, that's some funny shit.
I don't have to clear shit with you. I don't even want to be near you. I don't have to clear shit with you. I don't even want to be near you.
Which they thought they were winners. They don't give a winner.
Subpoena me, nigga. I don't even want to be near you. I have to play
Yes,
6 you. I
sometimes I
don't want to be near you.
But depending on the game we choose, such as are we playing chess or chess.
At the end of the day, it really boils down to my sanity and the things that trigger me. And I can't have things that trigger me to the point of psychotic for any reason, especially my daughter. So, that's it. It's not really a rhyme. That's just where I'm at. Yeah. So a couple things came to my mind, and I just had to stop because I was like, why do people try to play mental games with people? Especially at such a young, vulnerable age of people that are supposed to trust you, you know? And I remember you said Breaking Bad was the only series you've watched with anybody from beginning to end with me. And I thought that was just an interesting, specific, we always communicated, we always talked through entertainment. We would watch movies together, discuss it. But then you always try to relate it to the scenario that you were in, which always kind of like, I was like, what do you mean, what character are you? I was like, I don't know. It's just entertainment. And it started to brainwash me a little bit. And then I remember there was this horror movie, and I remember I had Liana, and it was weird. It was a scene, and I could not stomach it. And you literally was like, I just wanted to see where your mind was at. After I got up, I could not watch it anymore. And I really was like, then why are you watching it? You're trying to see if you. So I'm gonna tell you the scene I distinctly remember because I was so disgusted and petrified and in fear. This is called real fear. It's not a fear tactic. It's not fear factor. This is a genuine fear. And now I can see that it's you. So anyway, the scene goes, it's one of those murder mysteries, but it's not really a mystery. It's just gonna be murder. And it's a horror film, and there's a host, and he has about 10 guests, I think, from random people. Everybody got an invitation. And then there's like bodyguards in the background, and they have to play a game at the table, and it's kind of like a weird killer game of truth or dare, but there is no truth, there is no dare, it's just really killing. And so it got worse and worse. So there was one particular girl, she was a swimmer, and the swimmer, she was, I think, kidnapped or something because she was swimming, and then she was at this table. And then there was this other girl, she was kind of like I don't know, it was weird, rock and roll emo girl. There was another, and she had an attitude the whole time. So both the girl that was a swimmer kind of knew she was like, this is an eerie situation, I don't really want to be here. And the emo girl was like, whatever, I'm just here for the food, like, you know, this type. So I'm just drawing this scene of the movie. It's just a movie. So the swimmer has to go first, and I think she picks like dare or something. I don't know. It was like the bad. So it was 2 cards. It was like death or challenge, or it was 2 cards. You pick a card, chance. So she picked the bad one, I think. And then it said 4 minutes underwater. Hold your head under, and that's a long time. Like, if you just are panicking, first of all, you're not in a good situation. You're not relaxed. You're not doing this for pleasure. This is somebody else controlling your life. So the girl just had to go for it. So there was a barrel of water, and her head went under the water. And the man, she started to, about 3 minutes in, she started struggling. She was trying to come up. So one of the bodyguards came over and shoved her head back underwater. Panic mode. Like, now you're really just trying to kill me, right? So in the movie, it went to like a sub scene and a scene that she was at the lake at peace. And she found that scene and put it on repeat in her head so she could repeat that and think about that so she can disassociate from the current situation. And then she finished it 4 minutes. Now, that was a long time. When she got air, she was like relieved, obviously, but she survived, right? So then she sits down and the man is like, oh, congratulations. Like, next in line, you're still here for the next round type of shit. So the emo girl looks and it's her turn. So she's like, well, I'm going to go for the other card, since that. So then it was like, she had to do like 8 minutes underwater. And it was, you already knew what the end result was, and they dragged the girl over to the bucket because she was like, no. Of course, at that point, and I was holding Liana, and my heart was beating so fast, and I just jumped up and I just walked away, and I went upstairs, and you were like, I just wanted to see how far you would go, where your mind was at, something like that, and that still bothers me. I also remember one time you emailed me or texted me. I think you texted me and said, I annoy you like a gnat. And when I read it, that's what I read. I annoy you like a gnat. And, in all reality, at the time, this just could be my slow ass, I didn't know gnat spelled with a G. G-N-A-T. Gnat. So actually, I had to even Google. I had to Google what gnat was. And then I pulled up a picture of a bug, a gnat, and screenshot it and then gave it to you. And I was like, is this what you're talking about? And you were like, yeah, I didn't know you like that. And I was like, thanks for letting me know. My God. Touch the
Why do you ruin everything? You poking the bear, 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 you poking the bear. But you didn't bear in mind that I'm the bear, 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 I'm the bear.
Why do you ruin everything? You poking the bear, 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 but you didn't bear in mind that I'm the bear, 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 I'm the bear. Teddy bear, say good night.
Poking the bear, 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 poking the bear. You didn't bear in mind that I'm the bear, 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 I'm the bear.
What happened to Goldilocks and the 3 bears at the end? Let me look that up real quick. She ran away, went home, and the bears never heard from her again.
Biden's legal battles. We're now learning that it appears the prosecution in Biden's gun case intends to call his ex-wife as well as the wife of his late brother, Beau Biden, to the stand. Hunter has pleaded not guilty to charges tied to possession of a gun while using narcotics. The trial is set to begin in 2 weeks. Let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos, because, so Danny, this is a lot to kind of get through. On some of it, I think it just seems like speculation and why, but that's kind of the role I want to force you to play here, because when we're looking at a brief that's been submitted by the prosecution, they have said they intend to call a total right now of 3 witnesses. Our team was able to decipher that 2 of those are going to be Hunter Biden's ex-wife and his late brother's wife, which I will remind viewers, that's someone that after Beau Biden had passed away, Hunter Biden acknowledged publicly, as did President Biden and everyone, that Hunter Biden was dating Beau Biden's wife. So there's all these different layers. And it seems like there's a lot of personal elements just involved in the selection alone. Do you think that's why the prosecution is doing this? If you are the prosecutor and calling someone forward, why do you go for two essentially ex-romantic partners?
Yeah, and I've even read some reports that have said, yeah, these are opening up some very personal, deeply hurtful moments in Hunter Biden's life. Yeah, that's what federal prosecutors do. They win. And in order to win, they scour every detail of your life for something that they can use as a nugget against you. It's what they've done for now centuries, and they're really good at it. They convict over 90% of the people they charge, most of whom, 90%, plead guilty because they know they're going to lose. As a criminal defense attorney, I do not like being in federal court. And this is why. They're very good at it. So anyone who is surprised that federal prosecutors are doing this, it's not underhanded. It's not something morally bankrupt. It's something they do in every case. They look at all your text messages, all your banking transactions, and if something in your personal life helps their case, guess what? It's going to be in the brief and it's coming into evidence.
What does their decision to have these witnesses come forward tell you about the direction of the case itself?
It seems pretty straightforward. You're going to have really what are called precipient witnesses, people who saw something. They're going to call these people to the stand, and they know from their text messages, their exchanges, for example, that allegedly showed discussions and really women complaining about his use of drugs, and they will probably come to the stand and say, I saw on such and such a date Hunter Biden using drugs. That's around the time of the allegations, and that will prove in the prosecutor's mind their case. So too will passages from his own book. We just saw the exact same thing in the state New York criminal case against Donald Trump. They took a book, they went through it, and they found only the stuff that was bad and used it against Trump. They're going to do the same thing with Hunter Biden. Cherry pick the passages that are good for them and use them against Hunter Biden. It's all fair play. It happens every day in federal court and in state court as well, if they have the resources to do that kind of background. But in federal court, they have the resources, the time, and the smarts to do it.
Big picture, do you think they have a strong case here?
Absolutely. First of all, if it's in federal court, federal prosecutors do not charge a case. They don't charge it just because they can get past an indictment with probable cause. They charge it when they think they can get to beyond a reasonable doubt. And normally, I would say, proving this particular statute that someone was a habitual user of drugs is difficult. Because it's a hard thing to prove, even though, I mean, it's not brought very often. The felon in possession statute, which is related, it's a part of the same statute, much easier to prove. I pull your record, you're a felon, you had a firearm, I'm done. But a habitual user, does that mean someone who goes to Amsterdam for the weekend and tries a hashish brownie? It's hard to say. And I've asked folks that exact question. No one's really sure. So normally, difficult kind of case to prove. This one, when you've written books about it and it's been all over the internet and you have a laptop full of evidence that can't be good for you, it might be easier than your average habitual user in possession of a firearm case.
All right, Danny Savalas, thank you so much. We appreciate it as always.
It ain't about what you know, it's about what you can prove.
I'm so untouchable in every way. Never left me again. No way. No way.
Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Shaking and straight. Shaking like me. And then that make she breathe. Shaking and straight. And shaking and knees. No, I can't go louder. I can't.
Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Do you remember that green bowl that looked like a beaker that I really liked? And that I think you actually got that for me. You mostly got narcotic associated things for me. Anyway, I think you got that for me. That just broke this morning. I was kind of relieved because it was like one less thing from you. I was like, oh, I have another one. But then I pulled out the plastic green one, the silicone one that needs the ice cube. And I was like, dang, I think he bought that one too. So I was like, whatever, I need this right now. So I lit that up and I'm gravy. And then I remember saying at one point that we only really get along or I only like you or something along that line of when I'm high or when we're high. Maybe I'm just taking my part of it. I'm not making us a we ever again.
And even the negative or positive situations, I'm just saying this is my perspective. And I'm high and off life. I'm high off life, and I'm thinking about the items because I know where they came from, and I'm working on this whole new era of my life. Needless to say, with the child that I have, allegedly with you, because I cheated on you, and, whatever, fucking other niggas, whatever you said, I don't know. It wasn't you. It doesn't even matter. Might delete later. No wedding, no engagement, no thought of arrangement, no vows, not even an honest statement. You purposely maxed me out with no intentions of repayment. You seriously took me as entertainment. How simple was my amazement? So simple that when I realized I was in enslavement, and my real joy was always wrapped in containment. 'Cause anytime I expressed any type of joy, you always found ways to rearrange it. No wedding, no engagement, not even a thought of arrangement. I really loved you. What was I thinking? To be okay with mistreatment. I wasn't. I was being patient. But when I chose derailment, my freedom was no longer in containment. Since you left me, my life has been beyond amazing. They said I should be patient because it's operation, and you're the patient. This required skill and type D batteries adjacent. But I couldn't be patient. You're still a patient. And no matter what I did, you never helped with any of my operations. A king in one story is a pawn in another. Chess. Which piece do you think you are? Which is your character versus what others see you are? The king. It symbolizes leadership, power, and protection. It's lazy. You can move one square any direction. The queen represents femininity, strategy, and versatility. Protective for her better half. You can move me any number of squares, either in a straight line or in a diagonal line. The bishop, he reflects religion, spirituality, and guidance. Thinks outside of the box, alternate ways. You can move me in any number of squares in a diagonal line. Knight symbolizes chivalry, bravery, and unexpected maneuvers. Someone that overcomes the obstacles in life and is liberated. You can move me through the air 2 squares in a straight line, and then you land me on 1 square to either side. I jump over the first 2 squares, but if there is a piece in the square I land, I capture. Rook depicts fortress or castle, symbolizing stability and defense. You can move me in any number of squares in a straight line. And then the pawn represents the common people, sacrifice, and the front line defense. Weak, yet confident. United, sacrificing. most among the other pieces. You can move me one space forward. For my first move, you can move me 1 or 2 squares. I capture by moving 1 square diagonally. And I never move backwards.
When she got her phone back, she didn't have no missed calls from him. He can't call you. His wife home.
Right.
They in there talking about the dinner. I didn't have no missed calls from him. It's been a week and he ain't text me. The old white lady told you a lot of pretty girls coming there. How do you think they coming? They come during the week. It ain't your turn. You ain't getting back over there till you need another 500, and then you got to get back over there and earn it. Should I keep trying to get an explanation from him? He don't owe you nothing. He paid you. You got the 500. He don't owe you nothing. Or was it my fault for trusting him? Trusting him? You are in the most trifling phase of your life. And young lady, you need to stop it. Get yourself together. Get yourself some self-esteem. Stop selling your body for $500. Stop trying to trust people that commit untrustworthy acts. His wife is probably trying to figure out if she should trust him. All the pretty girls that go in and out the house that the white lady think is prostitutes, there ain't nobody trying to figure out should they trust him except you. Questions you need to ask yourself. Now, first of all, when he pushed you out the house, you got to get out. You can't be in here. Because if you think the old lady thought you was a prostitute, what you think the wife gonna do? Goodness. The next question you need to ask yourself is, are you a prostitute? And young lady, the answer to that is no. You've made a mistake, an error in judgment, at the trifling phase of your life, and you need to stop. I hope this is shaking you to where you go and find yourself. Listen, everybody make mistakes. God ain't gonna hold it against you, nor am I. Get yourself together, find out who you really are, and stop serving yourself up to undeserving men.
Post your comments on today's Strawberry Letter at Stephen FM on Instagram and Facebook. Check out the Strawberry Letter podcast on the free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. You can download it today. And coming up at 46 minutes after, it's Junior and Sports Talk. Right after this.
I'm working on doing a speech for next year. I'm sorry.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Settle. Everyone always told me not to settle, but I settled with you. I said I loved you, and they said, I'm happy for you. I remember camping. I love camping. You just go because you didn't have to provide anything, and you can't be left out. You want the experience, but never offer assistance. Anyway, there was an old black man married for 20 years. My former model's father, actually. He jokingly said, get out while you can. And you put your head in further and said, I'm working on it. I was pregnant and married to you. I heard you. Don't laugh. So if it's a joke, which obviously it wasn't, who really is laughing? The man still married? Probably 25 years now. The man that has cheated and lied to his wife, and then eventually left to knock up another one. Or should I say the ex-wife and child who's laughing, who's settled? Do you feel like you won? Well, here's your medal. I gave that large red, gray, and white black rug that you were trying to get back out of the house when we lived together because it was yours and you didn't care if I had anything or not. I gave it to the Hispanics that live next door because I didn't want it and it was too big to fit in my car.